All right, let's talk about one of the coolest, most stylish, and, let's be honest, almost impossible to kill houseplants you can possibly own, the amazing ZZ plant.
Look, we've all been there, right? You bring home this gorgeous green plant, you give it all the love, you shower it with water, and then just a few weeks later, it's a goner. It's so frustrating. But what if I told you there's a plant that actually does better the more you forget about it?
Well, here it is. This is the solution for all of us who are, a little plant challenged. It's perfect for anyone with a busy schedule who just wants some green in their life without all the stress. The ZZ plant isn't just another plant. It's a true survivor.
Okay, let's get official for a second. The name is Zamioculcas Zamiifolia. Its reputation for being practically unkillable has made it an absolute star in offices, apartments, and homes all over the world. It's really the definition of a low-maintenance icon.
So why is it so tough? Well, this isn't some happy accident. It's all thanks to evolution. See, this plant comes from Eastern Africa, a place that gets these massive downpours followed by super long, hot droughts. So it's literally built to survive neglect. It's a masterclass in survival.
So how exactly does it pull this off? You might think the secret is in those shiny, waxy leaves, but you'd be wrong. The real magic, the key to its entire survival strategy, is hiding completely out of sight, deep underground.
And that secret weapon has a pretty fancy name, rhizomatic succulents. Now, that's just a scientific way of saying it grows these thick, potato-like things under the soil called rhizomes, and their whole job is just to store massive amounts of water for a not-so-rainy day.
Honestly, the best way to think of them is as the plant's own personal, built-in hydration tanks. These aren't like normal roots. They're more like biological water bottles. They just fill all the way up whenever you water them, and then the plant can just sip from that supply for months.
And how well do these tanks work? Oh, they work incredibly well. Get this. Under certain conditions, a ZZ plant has been known to survive for up to 4 months with absolutely zero water. 4 months. That's just wild.
But, and this is a huge but, here comes the twist. The very superpower that makes this plant a nearly invincible hero is also the source of its one, and I really mean one, true weakness. Its kryptonite is too much love, in the form of too much water.
So what actually happens? When you overwater, the soil gets totally saturated. All the little air pockets fill with water and there's no oxygen left. Those amazing rhizomes, well, they need to breathe. And they can't. They basically start to suffocate. They drown. And once they start to die and decay, it becomes a party for fungus.
And this right here is where so many people get tripped up. The plant's leaves start turning yellow, and you think, oh no, it must be thirsty. But yellow leaves can mean the exact opposite. The real clue isn't the leaves, it's the soil. If the soil is soaking wet and the base of the plant feels soft or mushy, it's drowning. If the soil is bone dry, then yeah, it's just asking for a drink.
Okay, enough doom and gloom. Let's talk about how to get it right. Because the good news is, keeping a ZZ plant thriving is ridiculously easy. It all boils down to just a few simple rules, and they're all about avoiding that one fatal mistake. This is it, the million-dollar question, the one thing every single ZZ plant owner wants to know. Is there a magic schedule? Should I water it every week, every month? What's the secret?
The answer? Almost never. I am not kidding. Just throw your watering calendar out the window. The one and only rule you need to remember is this. Only water it when the soil is 100% completely and totally dry.
So here's your game plan. In the spring and summer, when the plant's growing, just stick your finger about an inch or two deep into the soil. If you feel even a hint of moisture, just walk away. In the fall and winter, you want to wait even longer, until the whole pot feels light and the soil is bone dry all the way through. Trust me, the plant will be just fine. Now, the other half of the puzzle is giving it the right kind of home. You need soil that drains really, really well. A great mix is about half regular potting soil, some compost, and then, this is the most important part, at least 20% perlite or vermiculite. That's that light, gritty stuff that creates air pockets so the roots can breathe. And for everything else, you guessed it, the plant is just as easygoing. It likes bright, indirect light, but it'll put up with a dim corner just fine. It likes to be warm, give it a tiny bit of weak fertilizer maybe once a month in the summer, and you probably won't even have to think about repotting it for like 3 years. See? Easy.
All right, so you've officially mastered how to keep your ZZ plant alive and happy. Let's level up and talk about how to make more ZZ plants, and really importantly, how to handle them safely.
So you can totally propagate these guys, but you are going to need patience, a lot of it. The fastest way is just to divide the whole root ball when you're repotting. You can also snip off a stem and root it in water, but that'll take a few months. And if you are really patient, a single leaf can eventually grow a new plant, but we're talking like over half a year.
Okay, before we finish up, I have to get serious for a moment. There is one very, very important thing you need to know about this plant. It has a pretty intense defense mechanism built right in.
So, inside the plant cells are these microscopic, needle-shaped crystals called calcium oxalate raphides. You can just think of them as tiny, natural shards of glass. They're there for one reason: to protect the plant from getting eaten.
And if you're wondering how effective they are, well, this quote pretty much says it all. If chewed, these little crystals cause immediate, painful irritation in the mouth and throat. It's a very powerful deterrent, and thankfully, that instant pain usually stops a curious pet or child from actually swallowing a dangerous amount.
So the bottom line here is simple. Be smart. The plant is toxic if it's eaten, so you've got to keep it out of reach of kids and pets. The sap can also irritate your skin, so it's always a good idea to just pop on some gloves when you're repotting or cutting it.
And that pretty much brings us full circle.
You know, the ZZ plant teaches us a really interesting lesson. In a world where we're always told that more is better, more effort, more attention, more care, this plant shows us that sometimes the real secret to thriving is just knowing when to step back, do less, and simply let things be.